My name is William Brent. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Husk Power. Husk Power is probably best known as the world's leading mini-grid developer. So we started in India, have been in Africa for about 10 years now, mostly Nigeria and Tanzania. And we traditionally have gone into either unserved or underserved communities that are unelectrified or poorly electrified. And we build a solar power plant and the transmission and distribution to connect the households and the businesses in those communities. So we're essentially electrifying communities that are off the grid.
Yeah. So are you seeing like an exponential growth in the number of communities and places on the continent that are taking up solar power?
So the degree to which these types of distributed solutions are being taken up really depends on the policy environment of each country. So you can't really speak about the continent as a whole. But for example, Nigeria, which is our primary market in Africa right now, the policy and regulatory framework there is extremely conducive and supportive for private sector companies like ours to come in. And we're seeing exponential growth. Last year, for example, we started the year, I think, at 13 mini grids in Nigeria. We ended with almost 70. So adding 4 to 5 a month. And we expect that number to grow to at least 500 to 1,000 mini grids. Plus, we're also starting to partner with the local state level distribution companies there to franchise last mile areas within their distribution network that they don't.
Those are the discos.
The discos.
Yeah.
So we're working with the discos to partner with them and the communities that they serve to provide last mile electrification where they typically don't do particularly well from a financial perspective. So we're going to take on all of that risk, serve those communities for 20 to 25 years for the length of the mini grid, take all of that expense off their books, put it on our books, mobilize private capital to better serve those customers.
Okay, so I live in Lagos. I live with the din of generator
Yes.
coming all day long. So what does that mean for the consumer, someone like me?
You won't have that anymore. I mean,
Right.
the beauty of what we do with distributed solar and batteries is that it can displace the diesel economy that dominates Nigeria. 40 gigawatts of diesel generation in Nigeria alone. And so you think about all of the residential developments in the cities, you think about peri-urban communities that are poorly served by the grid currently, or off-grid communities, all of them are reliant on diesel. And so we can go in, we can overnight build a mini grid or a rooftop solar system and transition those households, businesses, communities very quickly from diesel generation to solar. And the cost savings of doing that are enormous. So for example, for an isolated mini grid in Nigeria, we're displacing hundreds, if not thousands, of diesel generators. And the businesses that are using those diesel generators and switching to solar are saving 30 to probably closer to 50% on their energy bill, monthly energy bill overnight. They can then reinvest that money, hire more people.
Business.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible because diesel and power generation is such a huge part of the operation cost for businesses and
absolutely.
SMEs. So
And so we just also did we're doing a partnership with the Catholic Church starting in Nigeria to help them transition from diesel to solar power. And they have, hundreds of megawatts of diesel generation that is potentially ripe for conversion.
It's great to see that the renewable energy is kind of getting massive take-up in this country.
Yeah.
So what brings you to Gabi, Unstoppable Africa? What brings you here today?
Well, so, we don't want to stop in Nigeria, right? We actually launched at the first Africa Climate Summit in 2023, we launched something that we called the Africa Sunshot Initiative, which is to expand beyond Nigeria and enter 4 to 5 additional countries in Africa and do the same thing that we're doing in Nigeria. So we've built up the capacity, expertise in Nigeria. That's our beachhead that will allow us to expand into other parts of Africa. So being here, being able to see governments, investors, other stakeholders that are critical in a regulated industry like energy is very important.
So are you a frequent Unstoppable Africa?
I came last year for the first time,
Okay.
And so this is my second year.
Second year, fantastic.
Yeah.
And what do you expect to get out of this conversation?
It's Africa's complicated. It's 54 countries in sub-Saharan Africa alone, I think. And so you can't take it at a continent-wide level. You have to really take it at the national level, and even sub-national level, like we're doing in Nigeria now. We're partnering with state discos not just the national government. So you have to build those relationships with not only the national and subnational governments, the investors in those countries, but also other stakeholders, multilaterals, bilaterals, who are also supporting the electrification of Africa. So it's a great venue to be in the same place at the same time with a lot of those people. There's a lot of potential targets here for us to meet, to get to know better, or to build relationships that we already have further. So it's a great venue for that.